Hey folks. So funny, we were all talking earlier on and then you have to sneak down the side because it's such a special thing to have here. Smoke and mirrors.
Well, if anyone's worth tromping through the rain and the mud for, it is you.
Oh, charmer, thanks man.
Well, there's a lot to talk about with this film, but first I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. So, as Courtney said, you are a board member, a recent addition. You spent quite a bit of quality time on the campus with your peers in the industry from different walks of the industry. What has it been like for you so far, and what any particular standout moments for you?
Hanging out here over the last couple of years. No, I just love coming out. I've said that, and I'll keep saying it ad nauseum. I just love coming out and hanging out with my pals. Yeah, I do. I just get great stories, and I mean, I'm the fan coming here. There's no, it's not about any kind of mutuality, and it's purely self-service. I don't come out because I'm doing good for the older community. There's none of that bullshit. Like, honest to God, I just come out because I have such a laugh when I'm here, and I love seeing everyone, pals, so yeah.
And lots of quality hugging time too. So.
Lots of quality hugging time, yeah, lots of squeezes, yeah, a few little flirts.
Here? Really?
I can get a bit slutty when I come out to the campus. Spade, yeah.
So for the film that we're about to see tonight, first of all, you're in for a treat. I know this is available streaming on Netflix, but this is a gorgeous film. It is really something to see on the big screen. The cinematography in this is staggeringly beautiful. This role, one of the things you're really great at as an actor is you're great at very sympathetic desperation over the course of the whole film. You've seen like phone booth,
stock in trade,
phone booth, and
art imitating life.
Yeah. So how did this part come to you originally?
About 3 years ago, Edward Berger, who I don't know if you guys saw some of you saw Conclave and All Quiet on the Western Front. So it was the same director as that, but neither of those films had come out when we started speaking, myself and Edward. He reached out to me, he had this script. He had been on it for 8 years. He was at the Macau, the film takes place, as you'll see, in Macau, just off the coast of Hong Kong, and he had been in Macau at the film festival 8 years ago, and a producer who had the rights for the book, it was based on a novel, came to him and offered the script, and then 3 years ago we started speaking about it, and it was a kind of insane story, and the film is very angst-ridden, the character is incredibly angst-ridden, there's nothing subtle about the next 90 minutes. Be prepared, it's very loud, it's very bombastic. It's not my place to say whether it's a good or bad film, I'm way too close to everything I do, but I will say to what you were mentioning there, that it is one of the most aesthetically beautiful kind of films that I've been a part of, I think.
So since you got involved with it that early on, when Conclave and All Quiet came out, were you just like, oh my God, this bar is really high?
Oh yeah, I just thought, oh God, I backed the right horse, not the wrong horse. I thought when I saw All Quiet on the Western Front, I was blown away by it. And then Conclave was a less traumatic watch, but it was in its own way just as engaging. So I think he's one of the great storytellers we have working now, Edward. And he's wonderful to work for, a really good guy. Yeah, let's hear it for Edward Berger.
So how did you approach the character? Because you have the mannerisms, when he's gambling and you have to get right up in the camera. I mean, there's really no hiding. So
I approached him from 7 o'clock. Some of them you approach from 2, some 9. This one was 7 o'clock. It's always the same, man. And it seems to have been the same for me. And there's variations in every experience, and based on the tenure of the script and the psychological or emotional components of what you feel your character is journeying through. They all speak to you in different ways, and you have different techniques or different kind of habits that you might form or lean into in every different job. But essentially, it's always the same. It's always what the script invokes within you, how it activates your imagination, and you lean into it in that way. And you just, I would imagine that, when I was growing up, ADHD and OCD weren't really being called out as they are now. I'd say if they were, I may have been diagnosed with one or both. And if I do have either, I'm not making light of real conditions, being an actor, kind of, you obsess about what you're doing, you know, you really do. So if you're going on a walk, or if you're having a meal, or if you're lying in bed at night sometimes, God bless you, Danica, if you're lying in bed sometimes at night, you can't sleep because you're thinking, and this is before you even start shooting, you're thinking about the various scenarios that you've read your character going through, and you're thinking about, from whence they came, even before page 1 of the script has been read. So it's all that. You just lean into it with your imagination, and bless you also, and whatever, you know. But the writers, you know, it always goes back to, of course, what writers give us, whether it's in the theatre or whether it's in film or television, whatever it may be. What the writers give us is so much, and then that's the launch point. And then I end up working with, you know, I was talking to David, who worked in the props department today, and I've met so many people over the last couple of years here who've worked in various aspects of the process of bringing a film to life, and that's also a huge part of it for me, is meeting the props department, meeting the makeup department, meeting the wardrobe department, and having a little bit of input, but also listening to what they have to say about the material, because anyone, as far as I've experienced, everyone that works in the film industry, they really care about what we're making together. Everyone does. Everyone wants it to work, you know? And so they all really apply themselves. And I've worked with great artists behind the camera in all the sound departments and art direction and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's all part of the process, you know? It's just a big gumbo, really, a big gumbo.
Since you mentioned the costumes, the outfits that you wear in this film are really striking. They're such a great part of your character. They're almost lounge lizardy in a way, but they're still classy. It walks that really fine line. Yeah,
well, she's lounge lizardy and classy. That's awesome. She's and I wouldn't disagree with you. Lissy Crystal designed the costumes in this. And she, talk about an artist, Lissy doesn't work much, and she only works on material that she really loves and really believes in. And she did do, I don't know if Edward Berger made a thing about 10 or 12 years ago called Patrick Melrose. I don't know if anyone saw it. Yeah, it was an extraordinary piece of television storytelling, and Benedict Cumberbatch was in it, and he was amazing. I think that's certainly where Edward, the director of this, met his cinematographer on this, who was also the cinematographer on All Quiet on the Western Front, James Friend. Right. And James won the Oscar for cinematography for All Quiet on the Western Front. I think he met Lissy, the costume designer, also on Patrick Melrose. But they've certainly worked on every job that Edward's done since then. And she arrived over at my house here in Los Angeles. She lives in Bavaria. And she arrived in Los Angeles with a rail of clothes. And I was like, what the fuck is this? This is what I'm wearing. And you'll see the green velvet suit was just, I was like, what? Oh Jesus! So this is who I'm playing. Somebody that believes he can pull this off, or has such a kind of sense of pomp and circumstance and presentation and performance. So yeah, that's just another. She's amazing, and the wardrobe she's made for Tilda Swinton's character and Fala Chen's character. Lissy is an extraordinary artist. But there was just, as is often the case, I've been very blessed. There's an extraordinary artist just working the camera operator. Like you'll see, a lot of the camera work is very, close up on my face in this. And so Danny Bishop was the camera operator, and he also did, Conclave did All Quiet. And Danny and I just had this very intimate relationship, of course, as you often have with your camera operators, because they see closer than anyone and in real time whatever you're moving through in a particular scene. So Danny was an extraordinary relationship. It was an amazing experience, the whole thing.
Well, since you brought her up, I believe this is the first time you've worked with Tilda in, 26 years?
Second time.
Yeah, no, it's 26 years ago was the last time. Yeah. A really beautiful Tim Roth film, long time ago. Tilda. what
Tilda's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, she's such a force in this film.
She's incredible.
The hair alone.
First time I met Tilda Swinton, I think, was 26 years ago or so, and I walked into a room, a rehearsal space, and she had one baby on one breast and one baby on another. And she was just doing what moms do from time to time. And she was just, "You all right? Hello." And I just was like, wow, I could just feel the power and the grace and the beauty of her as a woman, as a human in that moment. And I've crossed paths with her a couple of times through the years, just at various festivals, but this, as you said, was the first time. I love Tilda. She's the best of us, really. She's so spirited and mischievous and kind, deeply kind, and not to mention the least interesting of all that, which is an extraordinary actress.
Yeah. I mean, your scenes with her just have such a crackle to them, you know? I mean, just as an actor, it just has to be so fun to like just bounce off each other.
And some actors, look, and this is no criticism of actors who are more, because sometimes you work with actors who you can kind of get a sense that they've made a decision on, and we all have ideas on what a scene is about, of course, but sometimes you work with actors and they don't do it the same every time, but you get a sense anyway that they've decided what particular moment, and that's fine. I'm really not criticizing that at all. And then other actors and actresses you work with, and you feel like there's just an unbridled sense of flow, and that nothing has been decided. And Tilda's one of those. It's just like being in the sandbox with someone, and she listens so intently and goes off what you're doing, and then you go off what she's doing, and then every take is different and fun, and you don't know if any of them are any use. But you feel like they were all alive and honest in their own way.
Well, I can't imagine what the rejected takes must have been like, because what's in the film is amazing.
Yeah, thanks, man. She was brilliant to work with.
Something I'm just curious about as an actor, and it's appropriate the weather outside, because I think this might be the soggiest performance I've ever seen. I think you're wet for about, 85% of the movie?
I would say, yeah, maybe tipping the 90s. It was, as I said, green velvet suit, 94 degrees, 96% humidity. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah. So you didn't need someone to spritz you. That was all real.
No. I was not going home with dry underwear on any of those particular shooting days. No, there was a spritz bottle. And Edward Berger kind of became obsessed with making sure that I was at all times dripping wet, but it was hot as balls as well.
I mean, it's one that makes you stand out in the shots when you're at the gambling table, because you're the one guy who's just like profusely sweating. So I mean, you're like, your attention can't help but go on you, because you're so nervous for you.
Yeah.
So it's a great device. So as an actor, how much did you?
As I said, the character lives in a state of anxiety, really, from first frame to last, you know. So yeah, it's a very, I don't know, neurotic, angst-ridden tale, really. This particular chapter in this man and these women's lives.
If you haven't seen the film before, I just want to let you know, please don't get up and leave when the credits start rolling.
Oh yeah.
I won't ruin it, but you did a film a few years back that unfortunately got a little overlooked during COVID, but called After Yang. It's a great opening sequence involving dancing. Yeah. And if you haven't seen it, it's a great film, and it's so good in it. And this kind of reminded me, because this has a great dance at the end.
Yes.
How did that idea come about?
That was Edward. Yeah, Edward he wanted to have this moment of kind of, I think particularly possibly for Tilda's character, because as you see, she's lived a life of great possibly control or restraint. Socially very well behaved, but there's something in there that should maybe have the opportunity to come out or express itself, and he wanted that dance between the two of us to be an expression of that liberation, I think. So it was his idea, and we didn't know if it was going to be in the film, or at a certain point in the film, or at the end of the film, or he decided to put it at the end. But yeah, that was fun. Again, that was another opportunity where Tilda was, she's an easy sell for an experiment,
I think you made the right call putting it where it is. It's really beautiful the way it's
I think so too. I think it might have been a bit too jarring if it was in the narrative, in the middle of the narrative,
Yeah, definitely stick around. Trust me, it's worth it. So what else do you have coming up? I mean,
I'm coming back out here on December 19th to do the bingo.
Yeah.
That is all I have on my list.
You've been on like a streak lately. I mean, you just have like one thing after another. So I mean.
Yeah, no, I've nothing lined up, man. I'm just going to be home for the next 4 or 5 months and just be with my kids and get a few runs in and go for coffee and go to the movies and all that shit.
Awesome, excellent, and well, again, thank you so much for being a part of MPTF.
I love it. It's just one of the greatest things that's happened to me in my life.
But congratulations. I mean, I'm glad that your performance in this is just getting rave reviews. So just congratulations.
Thanks, man, and thanks for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, thank you for bringing the film out here.
Thanks, guys. See you for bingo.